family. Happy day to you. So glad that you all are here with me today. Happy day. Hope everyone had an amazing Resurrection Sunday and back in stride. Maybe some of you got today off, maybe. But really glad that you are here with me today as we get into a few things and wanted to share with you and just kind of encourage you, enlighten you as well as it relates to this thing. And I know sometimes we don't want to necessarily hear about this topic, but we need to, especially all that has happened with me and what I see happening with families and friends as well. So I just wanted to just come on and share something and some insights that I have experienced as it relates, yes, the importance of life insurance. And as I'm sharing this, my fabulous peeps, I'm sharing this of firsthand experience, the raw, the insight, the foresight of it, being a licensed financial rep, right? It doesn't hit you until it's in your house and you are experiencing yourself, right? And you've had to pay a death claim to a family. It doesn't hit you until you realize that investment that you were setting up, right? And I'm talking about me, investment that I was setting up and how important it was, right? So it was one thing to do the life insurance, of course, and the other one to do the in investment side and how important it is to have both and what an impact that it has made in my life, right? When it comes in your house and it sits at your table and you are in this and you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. I get it. You know, because there was a time I remember when I would hear about life insurance and I'm like, well, I'm not trying to die. Right? Read that. Now I don't want to talk about that, right? Because I feel like you're going to die tomorrow or something like that. Right? So I didn't quite understand. I just thought it was just for burial, not realizing that it's for living, right? It is for the living, for those who are still left after that loved one has passed. Thank you so much. Blessings on you. I appreciate that. Right after that loved one has passed. And so, you know, for those of you have been with me for a while, you have been with me on this journey of life. Last year, thank you so much. Last year, June 1st, I lost my only sibling, my only brother. 7 weeks after that, I lost my father. Both unexpected. Both unexpected. The loss of my brother caused my father great pain. When they say somebody died of a broken heart, my father passed of a broken heart. And to see how devastating that season was to our life, and you can begin my mother having to experience two of the most important men in her life. For me, two of the first two men who ever loved me in my life in a matter of weeks gone. Sometimes even when I think about it, I get really, what's the word? Like at some days it's like it's a shock. I can't believe it. I can't believe I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get a text from my dad, from my brother, and then I remember that they're no longer physically here. Hello, fabulous, on earth with me. They're no longer here. And so you will know this. This is I want you to know how this has hit home for me, and why for me my crusade as a financial coach, as a licensed financial rep, doing everything from the room to the tomb, how this has changed my perspective and my drive. Okay, because not only did I lose my brother and my father in such a quick period of time, okay. Oh, my favorite song. I really don't have it. It all depends on my mood, actually. I don't really know what my favorite song. It all depends on my mood. But being in this industry, right, as a financial rep, do you know? Well, you would know. Now you're gonna know that my brother was my first death claim. My first death claim. And so I say this because when I set that up for my brother as one of my clients, and I'm putting all this, I'm putting his financial house in order, right? Making sure his income is protected, making sure that he's gonna, in my mind, he's gonna live long, right? So he has an investments in place, right? His money should not run out. Heaven forbid, right? To put the life insurance that if he ever became ill, because he was single, didn't have any, wasn't married, didn't have any children, what have you, that no matter what stage of life that he was good. And not only that, same thing for my father, no matter what stage of life, right, setting up that he was going to be good, him and my mom. Then the reality hits in that now I am going to have to bury these two individuals in a short period of time. And I want you to know that in a short period of time that I had to spend over, just for the burial and the funeral, which by the way are two separate things. The burial and the funeral are not the same. Okay? They're two separate things. So just for the burial and the funeral, I had, for both of them, the total was about 30,000. Listen to this. I'm not even finished. Okay? Then had to feed people and the whole yards that go there. There are some things I just did not do. I didn't do the limousine because that wasn't exciting to me. If I'm in a limousine, I want to be. I'm in a limousine. I'm going someplace beautiful, right? I'm having a night on the town or something like that. I said no, I don't want that. There's some other things I didn't want. So I'm saying this to you because I want you to be mindful, okay? That funeral services are in the business to make money, even at the cost of your emotions. And sometimes you can be in a situation where they will try and sell you things or up things, and you think it's so beautiful, it's going to help you to remember, but a lot of times, a lot of those things you do not need. You do not need. The pictures, the memories you have, that's quite suffice if you do. So there's some things you do not need. So you have to be mindful. And I was so thankful that at the time I didn't go to the funeral home by myself. I went with somebody though I know who were, yes, they were involved, but they weren't as emotionally involved. And my sister-in-law, thank God for her, she came with us and was like, listen, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, because you're just like, this is my loved one. I want the best. I want to make sure that they get the best of everything. I want to make sure. So you can spend money unnecessarily. And I don't believe in spending money unnecessarily at all. So a lot of times now I'm in the position where if I hear something, I'm saying, listen, I want you to be mindful. I know that this is a difficult, and it is very difficult. And so you have to be mindful that you go with somebody that can help you to navigate, so you don't overspend, because you still have to live thereafter. And just with all the expenses and what have you, I am so thankful that none of my brother or my father left my family and I with bills. They left legacies. Because it's one thing to have an emotional loss, but it's another thing on top of that when you have the financial loss and that whole devastation to deal with at the same time. It can be brutal. If you have an emotional loss, which is brutal. I don't wish this on anybody, honestly. But when you have a financial loss as too, where now you have to figure out how to continue to navigate life, right, with the loss of that loved one, right, financially, emotionally, mentally, you name it. You name it. And so, because, let me listen to my heart, because the last thing I would have wanted to do is ask anybody for anything. Now, people offer to help. I took the help not because I needed it, thank God, but because they love my father and my brother, and they wanted to do something. Can we do something? Can you do? Okay, you could, if you want, you could do this. If they did it, great. If they didn't, but I'm thankful for that, because that also showed me the life that they lived, the relationships that they had, the amount of people that loved them just as much as my family, my mother, our family loved them. And so now in this space, that I get an opportunity to continue to help some other families. So when that loss happens, or as you continue to go through life, right, making sure that money does not run out as you enjoy the rest of your life, making sure your financial house is built right and tight. So sometimes people may ask, okay, so is life insurance important? Yes, even if you are single, right? Because sometimes people are of the mindset, well, I don't need life insurance because I'm the only one that depends on me. That is correct. You depend on you. So that means if you were to get sick, right, you have that policy that you're able to access, that you can utilize. It's not a loan to you, that you can access a portion of the benefit to help pay for your expenses. Okay, if you want to have a desire to leave a legacy for something, right, for an organization, you can do that. Even if you are single, you want to make sure that you are sending, I like to say, sending money from heaven. You can do this, that your family is still being taken care of even after your absence. You can do this. You can do this. So this is where too, that you are not putting yourself, when you are of the right mind, you put yourself in the control, you put things in place. You're not waiting for the church. You're not setting up a GoFundMe or fish fry, all none of those things. We're not selling these t-shirts and none of that stuff. Right? As nice as they are, as noble, and people mean well, but by the time the service is over, there is no more money left. Everything has gone, and a lot of times it still does not even cover the full cost of the service. The funeral, which I say funeral and the burial is two different things. You can easily spend 30,000 depending on what you're doing, right? If you want a mausoleum, you right, you want them to be in the wall. That's if you want them to a chariot, all of that, all those little things add up. Right, there's still things you can do, and you still bury your loved ones in a dignified way without breaking your bank, because you still have to live thereafter. So I'm saying this to you. So How much insurance do you need? Well, first of all, okay, first of all, you have to do this. If you have young children, okay, if you have children and they are still depending on you, how much money would you need to make sure that the rest of their life up until their adulthood is taken care of? If you have a car and it still has a balance, how much is that? If you have a house and it still has a mortgage, how much is that? Right? Because we can protect a car, which is a piece of metal, a house, which is brick, but we do not protect our greatest asset, which is our income. So is the car, the house more worth than your life? That your income is the one that pays for the car, pays for the house. And if there's an absence of that, will your family be okay? So if you say, well, it's too expensive, I want you to think about this. That a lot of times you can spend less than $50 on a policy. Now, I want you to be mindful of this. Let me say this real quick. That there are some policies out there, right, especially if you get it from the bank and all these places, where they're only accidental. And a lot of times they're really cheap. $5, $10. You're like, this is a life insurance. They're only accidental. So you have to understand what you are getting. You do not want an accidental. That means that the only time they will pay out is if a person dies in an accident. The other thing too, right? They may say you have a double payout. That means that okay, we'll pay you double, but they'll only pay you double if it's an accident. So you want to be mindful of what you're getting, right? If it's a term, right? And the thing with term is that you can get more coverage for less money. Now, when you have a term, you also want to have an investment along with it. That's how I set up my clients. I set them with term so they can get as much coverage as possible. But if the term runs out, they're not dead in the water because they still have their investment along with it and still have some type of coverage, even if it's less, right? Because now they're older, there's more things, right? The term doesn't run out. When they say, oh, the term runs out, the term only runs out if you decide it. Okay, so a term it can revert back to another term. Just know that it's less coverage with the same amount of money, or it can still be the same amount of coverage. Just know because you're now older, right? It's now going to be a little bit more because the cost of how insurance is calculated is on the age and your health. So the younger you are, the cheaper you are, right? Because the healthier you are, the cheaper you are. The other thing too is that you want to consider is that heaven forbid, some things that can also affect how much you pay with your policy, even if you are young. If you have a bad driving record, you have been to jail, okay, all of those can affect the cost of your premium. And of course, health. All of those can affect your premium as well. And so these are some things that you want to consider. Now, what's the process? Usually it's an application. In the application, you're filling out medical questions on here. Even if you do not do blood work, right? Because of the MBI, that's what they call it, the medical bureau, they still have access to your records, right? Especially if you've gone to the doctor, and so they can still navigate, see that. And if they feel as though it warrants them, even though you chose not to do blood work, if they feel that it warrants some type of blood work, they can still come back and say, we want you to do blood work. So some places may say we don't do blood work, but they can come back and still offer it. Now, if you do blood work and you are healthy, one of the benefits is that a lot sometimes you can get the same amount of coverage for less money because your blood work came out good, or they'll give you more coverage for the same amount of money as well. Now, a question I often get is what happens if my policy lapses during that time period? Well, if it's usually 3 months or more, they would want you to at least pay a premium, or you will restart it at your new age, right? So you don't have to pay the back pay on it. If you wait until 3 years or longer, then you can be out of luck. So don't try your best not to make it lapse too long, right? If there's a time that you have to stop payment, contact your agent. Contact your agent. They can work things out. But don't be dead and don't be dead in the water, because even if you say you have insurance, oh, let me say this. If you have insurance just with your job and something happens where you're no longer working, your job can cut that, okay, because it is a benefit, and you are dead in the water. So you never want to put yourself in the position where somebody is holding the bag, right? They can have your control. The other thing too, a lot of times, if they've given you it for free, okay, you take what free. But if you have to pay extra, right? Because you say you want more coverage, don't put your eggs in all in one basket. You get life insurance outside of work as well, okay? So you get it outside of work, so you are not dead in the water. You put all your eggs in baskets, so if something happens, then that means that, oh my gosh, I'm no longer coverage. As opposed to once you have your policy, if something happens, then your policy is already in effect. Okay? So this is what you want to be mindful. No, all life insurance are not created equal, but that's why for me, as a licensed life insurance agent, I'm also a licensed investment as well, right? Because I never want anybody to be dead in the water, because the reality is that you can live a long life. You can live a long life, and if heaven forbid that you live this long life and money runs out, you can enjoy your life. You can enjoy the different stages of life. So for me, building your financial house, of course, the foundation is protecting your income, hashtag the life insurance, but there's still those other stages as well. So no matter what happens, you're not just good, but you're great. You can handle emergencies. You have enough money that you've been saved to purchase that car or their house. You're not having to borrow as much money, if at all. It all depends how much what you have, right? Your family has a legacy. That means money is not going to run out with you. 54% of Caucasians have investment. 34% of minorities do not. Black people, we do not. Because we scared. We hear all these foolishness. I ain't putting my money in that. I'm gonna keep my money. And then you lose because money is not working. I talked about that last week. Money is a tool. And if the tool is not being used properly, you're losing money. No matter what's going on in the in the market. So this is the thing. When you are young, right, you have children, you have high debt, you have mortgage, right, and a loss of income to your family could be very devastating, right? That spouse or whoever has to now figure out life, maybe get multiple jobs, ask for help, all these things. But as time progresses, right, kids are on their own, they're living their lives, they're doing their things. Now you want to make sure that you have money that you can enjoy the rest of your life. So these are the different stages of it when it comes to the life insurance and some things you need to be considerate of and really process so you know you're making a sound decision on top of that. All right. So this is for you. If you have not, if you, first of all, if you only have life insurance at work, this is for you. If you have no insurance and you don't see the value or you think you can afford it, this live was for you. Or if you're just like, you know what, my life has changed. I have all these things. I don't know if I have enough insurance. This is for you. Or maybe you're just like, well, um, I don't see the need of it. This is for you. Because as I said, I do not wish this on anyone. Losing a loved one so close, I don't wish this on anyone at all. I really don't. I don't wish seeing a family torn apart. I don't wish seeing the longing for the loved one. I don't wish sometimes just looking at my mom's face, and she's strong, but I know there's times it hit her. There are times where I can't even, especially in the early parts, I didn't want to be a wife, a mother. I was like, I couldn't. I didn't know what to do. So it's a process, and it's still a continued process, right? This is nothing you get over, but you learn how to get through. You really do. You learn how to get to. And so, that being said, you see my link in the description, right? My life financial resilient link, that's for you to get on my newsletter. Get on my email list so I can send you some things to keep you focused, right? What's happening, some great things that are happening as well, and making sure that you are building your financial resilient life, that when life happens, you are good. Okay. You're not making an emotional decision, but you're making a decision that's going to be beneficial for your family. If that is you, you also maybe like, you know what, teacher Melanie, I don't know if I can just get to I need to meet with you. Okay, I do offer a 30 minute, a 30 no 15 minute, excuse me, discovery to see how I can help you to make sure that you are building your financial house right and tight. Okay, so if that is you, you see my discovery, it's in there. 15 minutes to see how I can help you, and if we are a good fit to work together as well. Or maybe you're like, you know, teacher Melanie, I want to get into this financial game. What do I need to do? I want to make some extra income, right? This is a multiple stream opportunity. You know, I talk about having multiple streams so you're not dead in the water, right? Then also click on the link as well, my discovery, and so I can share the opportunity and see if it's a good fit, or find some opportunity that is a good fit if you are looking to make another stream of income for you and your family. All right, so those things that I shared with you, right, help me to build your financial house. Click on the link in the description. Or if it's like, okay, I'm not sure what I have, click on the link in the description. I need to make another stream of income. Click on the link in the description. Right, I want to make sure I'm headed to the right path. Click on the link in the description. I have nothing. I don't understand how it works. I need to understand it. Click on the link in the description. Click on the link in the description. Let's get together. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we're a good fit to help you. You know, if I'm the coach that can help you to understand, because I experienced all of it: financial loss, emotional loss, mental, so you name it. but I can say that I'm still here and I'm not fighting. This is not I'm winning because I chose to, and I'm choosing it, and I want to. I want you to choose that way as well. So let's connect, my fabulous piece. I'm so glad that you have joined me. Make sure you share this, right? Like it, subscribe. You share this video. The content was helpful to you and your family. And whatever way that I can assist, let's get together. Click on my discovery. If you have any questions as it relate to life insurance, as it relate investment, maybe you have questions about what's going on now, what you need to do to prepare it. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure you are here in the place tomorrow with me on the live. Okay. Make sure you are here with me tomorrow on the live, because tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you can defer taxes, what things need to be, what you can do to do that. All right. Even in this time, in this season, right? Because we always want to have more money in our pocket. We ain't trying to give everything away. My fallacy. So can't wait to connect with you. Hope you found some value in this, my fabulous peeps. Right, I do like when you subscribe and you share it out. It does support me and my channel. And if you have any questions, comments, I'd love to respond to you, give you some insight, whatever I need. This is I'm here. All right, my fellows peeps. So with that being said, like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe, because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. Bye, fabulous.